So this second resource I wanted to have a look at was created a couple of years ago by a team from the Education Training Foundation and a team of instructional officers. And we're moving here from a maths context to vocational training and workshops. And I thought this was interesting because it would allow those learners who are in more practical workshops to develop some of their underpinning knowledge. So this is called Maths and English in Prison Work and Training. So it still has a focus on maths and English, but it's in the context of joinery and lots of other industries in prison. I'm just going to take us down to one of the activities contained within this book. And again, this is freely available, and I'll tell you where at the end of this video. There's an initial review. So it's asking learners to think about their knowledge of joinery in this case. They're given a 2D diagram, a little information about scale, and you might take this in and mark it because this is an initial review. I'm just going to scroll down quickly through there. It's quite practical, all in the context of bench joinery. And then learners are taken through the process of building a nest box. Now, I know that they won't actually be able to build this if they're outside the workshops, but it could give them a sense that there is something that they will be able to do with their knowledge as soon as they are able to get back to their joinery workshop. So a little bit of information about what measurements they're going to need, in this case to build a bird box, creating an item to sell in the external shop, so a bit of hope for the future that there will be something positive that they can do. There are some things that they can do in preparation, so there are questions and spaces for them to fill in their answers. And although this has been designed to be building the bird box at the same time, you can still work through this, and I think it's quite engaging. You can really see the points. So going back to the idea of locating learning in the real world, that this certainly does that job. Again, you can answer those questions because you're given the measurements. You don't actually have to be building the box. Again, there's an opportunity to draw an acceptable position for your entrance hole, and it's got to give you some criteria about how far off the floor it needs to be. I just think there's an awful lot that you could do, and it also gives you a chance to sort of think about what this means in the world. So, what are different birds that you might attract? Perhaps they could be thinking about where this might be positioned within the prison if it was going to stay on site after it was built. I also think this is quite well presented. There's plenty of space on the page for people to write. Very clear, iterative project. So you're building up from an understanding of the big picture to each different piece of the bird box that you're going to make. And you might need to switch this and say, explain how you ensured the inside front surface is rough. So explain how you would ensure that the inside front surface is rough. I thought this was an interesting example to show that even vocational training can be developed into a cell pack with some thought. And this has been a partnership in this example I'm sharing here between maths teachers and vocational trainers. So that might be another consideration for you. Could you develop a cell pack in partnership with another department or another area of education, so that you're bringing together maths learning in this case with something quite practical?